Hello and welcome back to this now fourth video in this series on Pandas tutorials. Generally, this is all designed for those that don't have a lot of programming experience. If you haven't watched the three preceding videos, I encourage you to do so now. In this video, we're going to be picking up where we left off. In the last video, we talked about a whole bunch of different ways that you can kind of explore your data set with different methods for kind of querying it, and just searching for some specific information by structuring either simple or complex and or statements when actually searching a data frame in Pandas. This video is going to be a little bit shorter. It's going to be part 4 of this textbook, Organizing Data in Pandas. And we're going to go through a few different things in this video. How to sort data by a single column, how to reverse sort data by a single column, how to sort data by multi-columns, and how to sort data by multi-columns with different values organized differently. That'll make sense, I promise, when we get to it. So let's go ahead and kind of jump right in and do some live coding. So what we're going to do, as always, we're going to import pandas as PD, and we're going to execute that cell, and everything works great. So now we're going to create our data frame. And like the last video, we're going to read in a CSV file. That CSV file is going to be data/titanic.csv, and that's our Titanic data set. And if you don't remember, it's a data set that has all the different people who were on the Titanic, including if they lived or did not live, it has what passenger class they were, their name, their sex, their age, etc. on down the list. In this video, we're not so much interested in the data itself, rather organizing it. You're going to find yourself in a lot of different projects having to organize your data so you can analyze it differently. Now, if you're using something like Excel, which is an easy-to-use user interface, this might be done via, up at the top, you can kind of sort something by the column, but we're not working in Excel. We're working with a data set within code. This means we have to type out what we want to do when we need to sort something. That little change-off, though, the minimal amount of writing of code comes with being able to automate certain things. So let's go ahead and try and sort out all of our data set based on passenger class. So we want to see first class passengers appear at the top of our data set and third class passengers appear at the bottom. So we can do df.sort_values, and this is going to take one argument right now. This is going to take the column name that you want to sort. In this case, P with a capital P, class. If we execute that cell, we see that our data is now organized by passenger class. All the individuals in first class appear at the top, and all the individuals in third class appear at the bottom. And we see this ... which indicates that there's a lot of cells kind of missing in between these two, because there's too much to display right here on this page. There are ways to fix that, and we'll talk about that in a later video. For now, let's keep on going with this concept. Let's say that we're interested in seeing our data sorted the opposite way. So we don't want to see all the first class passengers appear first. Instead, we want to see our data set organized in reverse order, or in more Pythonic terms, reverse ascending order, I should say. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to do the exact same thing that we did before. So df.sortValues, and then again, we're going to pass in that one argument right here of P class. So we're going to organize by P class. Now we're going to pass in one other argument, a keyword argument. We're going to say ascending is equal to false. So we're going to say that we do not want to use the default setting, which is ascending true. Instead, we want to do ascending false, which is a way of saying reverse order. And we've executed that cell, and we see the exact opposite. This is what we want to see. We have all of the P classes now organized in reverse order. But sometimes you want to actually work with data where you want to organize your data in multiple ways. So you might want to see, for example, all of the passengers organized by class, but then within that subset, you want to see all the passengers within each class organized by sex. So all of the males at the end, all the females at the beginning, or vice versa. Let's go ahead and work through how to do that. Again, we're going to do df.sort_values, and instead of passing an argument here that is a string, we're going to pass an argument that is a list. So this list is going to be a series of columns, again, the strings that coordinate with those column names, and that's going to be the order in which they're organized. So let's say I want to organize first by class. I'm going to say P class. Because this is going to be a list, I'm going to have another index here, and I want to organize by sex. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to use what we learned in the last video. I'm going to look at the top 100 instances of this. So let's go ahead and use that and execute that cell. And what we have is an output that'll be a list 100 rows long. And what we'll be able to actually see are all the different instances of, in this case, just first class, going from first class, so P class 1. And again, we're just grabbing the first 100 rows, so it's going down to P class 1 here. But what we're grabbing are not only female, but also male. So it's organized by sex, where the female passengers are now at the top of the list, as opposed to male and female passengers being organized kind of throughout. Now we can do the exact same thing. Let's go ahead and do this actually. And here, let's get rid of head right now. And let's do the same thing, but what we're interested now is not necessarily grabbing all of the passengers in that order. Rather, we want to kind of reverse it up. Again, we can pass in ascending once again and reverse order everything. So in this case, all the passengers are organized in reverse order, where P class comes third is first, so at the top of the list, and male is at the top of the list. Whereas if we go to the bottom of the list, of the data frame, we see that it's first class and female. So we've essentially reversed that whole order. Now here comes the real tricky bit. What if we had a scenario where we wanted to sort our data where we're okay with P class being organized where it's coming in first, second, third, but we want to see the sex column organized in reverse order? Well, fortunately, Pandas has a solution. So again, let's stick with this original bit of code. So this was allowing us to actually organize everything, and the default setting is going to be ascending equals true. Ascending, like this initial argument, can also take a list. Now this is important. This list is going to be either a 0 or a 1. 1 is going to be true, and 0 is going to be false. So we can say that we want to true, organize P class in ascending order, and then false, organize sex in reverse order. And if we execute that, we'll see that we've got P class now organized where it's 1, 2, 3, but male, the word that comes later in the alphabet in English from female with the M and the F, is now coming in descending order. So we've been able to organize one column in one way and another column in another. So this is being able to pass kind of multiple arguments. And we're not limited to just doing this with 3 values. We can do this with many values. Let's try again. Let's add in another one. Let's add in age. So now we're going to sort everyone by P class, then by sex, and then by age within that. So let's say we want to do this now in ascending order, because that makes the most sense. So we do that, and we see that we have all the males now organized in ascending order, as well as the P class. So it goes 1, 2, 3, and then it does males first, females second, and then it does within that each category. It'll go from, in this case, it's an infant, to 4 years old, 11 years old, 17, 18, on down the list. So this is how you can kind of pass multiple parameters and organize data in multiple ways. Now, let's say I'm interested in organizing things in a slightly different order. Let's go ahead and try that right now. So notice that in our data set, it's ordered where it goes P class, then sex, and then age. We've followed that hierarchy right here. We're not bound by the order in which our columns appear, so we can put age first, then P class, and then sex there. So notice now that our ages are actually taking primacy here. So we're not so much caring about organizing between sex and class first, rather we're going by age. So anyone who's within the age of 75, for example, will then be organized by sex, so female, female here, both are in that order, and then it goes by P class after that. You can mix up this order as much as you like, but remember, if you change a column here, you also need to change its value in ascending, otherwise it will do not necessarily what you want. So this is a quick way to kind of replicate what we do in Excel, where we organize data by column. However, we can see that this is a little bit more powerful than Excel, because we can very quickly, in one line of code, structure our entire data frame based on a series of cascading calls or cascading requests of organization. So we can set up our data frame in a very structured, hierarchical way with only one line of code. that's going to be it for this video. In the next video, we're going to pick up where we left off here, and we're going to start talking about how to now clean our data. This is a fundamental concept when it comes to pandas, is in any data set, is cleaning it, getting it structured and getting it prepared in the correct way. This is necessary for all tasks from machine learning things like text classification to simple just data cleaning. So that's what we're going to end today. Again, if you like this video, if you've gotten a lot out of it, please like and subscribe down below. And as always, thank you so much to all of my Patreon supporters. They help keep this channel kind of alive. And again, if you get a lot out of this channel, please do consider supporting it via Patreon. There's a link in the description down below to do that.